New pretty shocking poll out from Monmouth University about just how Americans are feeling about this country right now. I mean, I guess we shouldn't be that surprised, but 74% of the country says that it is on the wrong track. That is an all-time worst in 7 years of national Monmouth polling, up from 60% last month. I mean, on the one hand, I want to be like, who are those 26% that are like, right track, it's going great, this looks great. But I saw this and I think it just really underscores what an unbelievable time we're all living through, right? I mean, we tracked here before coronavirus how many people weren't participating in the prosperity of the nation and growing inequality, and that fed a populist uprising even before these things. Then you have coronavirus. You have people locked at home. You have millions upon millions losing their jobs and, by the way, their health insurance along with those jobs, or losing hours, losing income, losing their sense of sort of meaning and purpose in their life, unable to connect with their community and their family around them, getting sick and dying and living in fear of that. Now you have this spark of, racial killings across the country that has fed this protest movement, including riots in every major city in the country. And you just look at all of this. I think it was Kyle that had this great tweet that was like, put together the Spanish flu, right? Yeah. And the Great Depression. Right. And 1968 and the riots, and that's what you get. We've just never seen anything like it. So when you see 74% saying we're going in the wrong direction, you kind of understand why.
Yeah, I totally get it. And that's why I think you can't ascribe it to any personal political thing. Although I do think it's bad for Trump, because that is almost always historically associated. Wrong track numbers are one of the most crystallized ways in which you can predict re-election. But I don't even think you can ascribe it, left or right. It shows X, it proves everybody's theses. What it really is,
I think it shows a majority of Republicans feel the same thing, and it's not partisan.
Which is that people were off from all, you look at the one thing, it confirms your priors from whichever way you look at it. And look, we're in the worst Great Depression since the worst depression since the Great Depression, worst economic crisis. We have the pandemic. Now we have the protests. Life as we know it has not been. Think how radically different your life is today than it was 6 months ago. 6 months ago, people were flying, the economy, it wasn't, we cover here many of the structural inequalities across America, but it's not like things
Unemployment was low, stock market was high.
People were going out to eat, hugging mom, weddings.
Stock market's still high, by the way.
Stock market is
bizarrely.
Still high. But now, people haven't left their house in 3 months, or they're protesting, or things are getting broken, there's crime, there's police. It's like we've never seen anything like this before. And I think that no matter how, you have to look at that and say, my God, this needs to end. And I think that this is going to this is why I really do think it helps the Biden campaign, because Biden's sleepiness very much plays into that message, right? It's very easy just to be like, oh God, end it. Just get out of here.
Yeah. No, there's a deep longing to just be able to go back to sleep.
Yes.
Look, I find the protest movement encouraging and inspiring in the fact that, my deep depression was around that people were so cynical and apathetic and just already ground down that they were just going to take it. And so for me to see thousands and thousands out in the streets, at risk to themselves, given the images that we've seen unfold on television and on Twitter and other places, that is to me the most encouraging development of these past few months. But yeah, I think there's a strong sentiment towards that restoration argument that let's just put the pieces back together and have some normalcy so that people can just go back to sleep and not have to think about politics and see it in their life literally every day. So yeah, I think that's absolutely the case. And look, we've both had our critiques of this president on this show in terms of coronavirus response. I have a very strong critique of him in terms of his response to these protests. But whatever you think of his response, the bottom line is he's the president. And so he's going to shoulder the blame for if people feel like things aren't going well in their lives. He's going to shoulder a lot of that blame. So, I think in some ways the political ramifications are kind of the least important, least interesting part. But yeah, that sleepiness, that let's just go back narrative has, I think, never been more appealing to a whole lot of people. And the polls reflect it, and they show President Trump falling behind. They show him struggling in states like Ohio, like Iowa, that shouldn't be a struggle at this point, given the direction, the partisan tilt that those states have moved in. So it's just numbers that really underscore what an outrageously unprecedented time we are all experiencing and witnessing with our own eyes. History is unfolding before you in real time.
I think I said that before. I never felt like I was truly living it. I think people way overuse "this is history." You know what I mean?
No, but
people are
really,
like, "Oh,
for real.
I fell on my knee. It's living history." No, this is history. This is going to be there for a long time. They're going to write a lot about this one. And it's moments like this. That's how you got Jimmy Carter, which makes me very upset. But I totally understand how such a thing could come to be whenever people feel this way.
Yep. All right, more rising for you after this.